Hi, this is Brian Nett with HowRadiologyWorks.com. What we're going to talk today is about Radiation Biology 101, namely the biological overview. So just as a caveat, this is being taught to you by a medical physicist, so it's going to be very high level as far as a biological background. If you're new to this channel at HowRadiologyWorks.com, what we do here is we have bite-sized content of interest to people in radiology, and hit subscribe below and then click on the bell icon if you want to get notified when we release new content. So at a high level, when we talk later about the radiation damage that's occurring in the body, we're going to be talking about DNA a lot. But what happens is the body's made up of typically organ systems. So we'll have these organs. These organs, they're solid. You can feel your liver inside your body, for instance. And then these organs are made up of matrices of cells. And then these matrices of cells, within each cell, we have different material. And then the nucleus is at the center in terms of, in sixth grade, I always learned the nucleus is the brains of the cell. But essentially, the nucleus is where the DNA is actually housed within the cell. And then the DNA itself, like we know, the DNA is essentially the blueprint for how our bodies are going to be made, and all of the genetic information is lying in the DNA itself. The DNA is a double helix design. So the backbone of the DNA is sugar backbone, phosphate backbone, and then we have 4 base pairs. So adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. So often we'll just say A, T, C, and G. And adenine and thymine are always paired together, and cytosine and guanine are always paired together. So we have some built-in redundancy in the fact that anytime we have an adenine on one side, we expect to have a thymine on the other side. So that's interesting information that we're going to be using later when we talk about DNA repair and how the DNA is sensitive to different types of damage. And one thing we do want to point out is that the body is composed of a lot of different matter, and that this DNA is just a very small percentage of the whole matter that's inside of our body. DNA replication is what we want to talk about as well. So DNA replication, like we talked about, during DNA replication, there's something called DNA primase, and this is going to come through, and basically at that point, what we talked about, we had our A, T, C, and G. During this DNA replication process, if there are some minor damages, those can be repaired because of the redundancy, namely because we always have A paired with T and C paired with G. So that's the power of having that extra redundancy built into our genetic code. DNA damage. This is just very high level of DNA damage, and we have other videos where we talk more specifically about the DNA damage. But at a high level, we can have either a free radical or a free radical or an energetic electron, and those can result in damage which is either a single strand break, so just one of those base pairs, or it can be a double strand break, in which case both of the base pairs are damaged. So single strand breaks can be repaired more easily, whereas double strand breaks are more difficult to repair because now there's not a direct evidence of which of the base pairs were there. So the takeaway is that double strand breaks can be much more damaging and can lead to a higher probability of things like mutations. So this is just a high-level overview that we wanted to have as far as Radiation Biology 101. So at this high level overview, we talked about how the body is composed of multiple organ systems, and then we go from those organ systems down to the individual cells, and the individual cells containing the DNA, and it's the interaction of radiation with this DNA which is actually causing the damage in the human body. So again, this has been Brian Nett with HowRadiologyWorks.com. Thanks again for tuning in to How Radiology Works. Leave a comment below and let me know what your favorite part about radiation biology is. Is it the alphabet soup, RBE, LET, OER, or do you like deterministic versus stochastic, or what specifically is your most the part you find most interesting about radiation biology? So yeah, write that below, and then also go on over to How Radiology Works /radbio to get your cheat sheet, and that has a condensed form of all this material. So if you want a study guide for just a one resource in one place, have a PDF, or just to have in general, go on over to howradiologyworks.com /radbio. Thanks again.